Zamani ulikuwa unalima tu sehemu kitu, hiyo chakula inachukua mwaka mzima, ukila mwaka mzima. Lakini sasa hii unalima hata eka 20 na unavuna magunia sijui ni 20 ama 15. Kwa hivyo mabadiliko ya tunaita climate change imetua affect sana. Huu mto ulikuwa full time kuanzia Januari mpaka Disemba unapitisha maji, lakini ukienda sasa hii maji haipiti.
Impacts of climate change, you could say they are also very regional. There are certain mega trends and certain global trends, but for example, where there used to be droughts, the drought is increasing, and where there used to be a lot of rain, the rains are increasing. But same time there are different aspects of it, such as even though in some areas where rain, there is more precipitation, the rain comes heavier in a shorter period of time, which can actually hamper the livelihoods of the people.
We need to do what's in our best capacity to not worsen the situation. Because when you come, the people who face the consequences of climate change, I would say mostly Africans, especially sub-Saharan Africa, because I think they are the most susceptible to it. And when you come to a place like, especially the lowlands or even here, and you see the challenges people face with just water, and using it for their day-to-day activities, for their farming, you really get to understand why you should extremely care about climate change.
Climate change is a global phenomenon. No one can escape the impacts, even though they differ from one continent to another. But what is certain is that temperatures on the global level are increasing. The maximum temperatures, the minimum temperatures, the average annual temperatures, and therefore there's also an influence on the rainfall patterns. We all have to eat, we all have to drink. We can survive without food for a longer period than we can survive without drinking water.
The main problem that we can feel that there is a current climate change is the extreme weather that is occurring all over the world. Sometimes we can get extreme drought and after extreme rain. So we cannot now get a well-balanced climate. And it's what, for example, we have in Taitail, when you go to the lowland in Taveta, the farmers, they used to get the rain, it's beginning of in May, April, so they start to plant because the rain, they were expecting to get the rain, but effectively the rain came and suddenly it stopped, and after they have never rain, so the maize is drying on place and they cannot harvest.
There are varying degrees of uncertainty about the scale of the impact of climate change. Climate change will lead to scarcity of water, food production will be disrupted, as crop failure will be a common occurrence. The Adaptation for Ecosystem Resilience in Africa, Aferia, was a 2-year project to disseminate and communicate research results, insights and interactions of climate change and food security developed from a previous research and development project, CHIESA. CHIESA activities focused on 3 mountain ecosystems in Eastern Africa, namely Mount Kilimanjaro in Tanzania, the Taita Hills in Kenya, and Jima Highlands in Ethiopia. The project consortium monitored weather, detected land cover change, and studied biophysical and social economical factors affecting crop yields and food security. The project also built the climate change adaptation capacity of East African research institutions, stakeholder organizations, and decision makers through research collaboration and training. Together with local communities, the project developed, tested, and disseminated climate change adaptation tools, options and strategies at the farm level.
Aferia builds on an earlier project funded by the government of Finland, which is called KESA. And the KESA project was largely generating baseline information on the impact of climate change on ecosystem services. And having done a lot of research within this area, both in terms of what climate does to various ecosystem services in agriculture, natural enemies, bees, and the like, there was the need to now package the information that have been generated at the research level and have them translated into impact. So Aferia was largely disseminating the knowledge base that have been generated from the KESA project and having direct impact on the ground on the people, the end users that are broadly affected by climate change. So one of the key achievements, if I may just cut it across various crops, because the project target various crops, crucifers, coffee, maize, and avocado. And within these specific crops, there were a lot of information on natural enemies that impact on pests that attack this crop across altitudinal gradient. And at the initial stage, we wanted to look at is there a decoupling of the natural enemies from the pests that are on this crop, so that we can get prepared in terms of adaptation strategy. If you need, for instance, if a pest is moving high up in the highland, you are going to need a natural enemy or a parasitoid that is more temperature tolerant, because it has been separated. The earlier ones that have been introduced have been separated. So that provided us with a lot of knowledge base in terms of intervention to save these crops from the damage to the target pest that we are dealing with.
I am very much interested on the interaction between the plants and the pest, insects, and the interaction also with the natural enemy, focusing mostly on parasitoids. Parasitoids, they are small wasps which are attacking the larvae of the pest. Larvae or the type of or the developmental stage, but at least in our case, we are looking at the ones they are attacking, parasitizing the larvae of the pest. Within the KESA project, we try to look at the distribution and the importance of a particular pest of maize named stem borers. Why stem borers? Because the larvae, they are boring, feeding into the plant stems, the maize stems, and boring, creating a such of tunnel to feed inside. So we are calling them stem borers when they are getting such developmental stage. At the beginning, they are the larvae, the small caterpillar. They are feeding on leaves, but after, when they are getting older, they bore into the stem and making a hole to feed inside the plant stems. So we are calling them stem borers. It was the accidental introduction of invasive species named Chilopartelus, a small stem borers coming from Asia, which was introduced in Africa and causing a lot of damage on maize. So ICP start to develop a biological control program by using a natural enemy from the region of the pest, which was in Asia. And from Asia, they've identified a small wasp, a small parasitoid called Cotesia flavipes, to be able to be introduced into Africa to control these stem borers pest. Of course, you can understand before any kind of introduction, you have to make to be sure that the parasitoid will well work into the country, and it will do the job that the people they are expecting for, and not targeting, and not going to another target, but mostly targeting the pests that we are asking to control.
Mwaka uliopita tulikuwa na workshop ambayo tulikuwa nimehudhuria, ilikuwa imewekwa na shirika lisilo la serikali inaitwa Isipe pamoja na Tera, ambao walikuja kuelimisha wakaaji wa huku mbinu mwafaka kama mbinu mpya jinsi ya kukumbana na changamoto za wadudu ambao wamekuwa shida katika ukulima wetu ambao unafanya huku sehemu hizi. Najua kwamba ukulima sasa umekuwa na changamoto ama wadudu wamezidi kuongezeka kwa sababu ya hali ya anga kubadilika. Ndio maana hili shirika limekuja na mbinu mpya ili wakaweze kufundisha watu jinsi ya kukabiliana na changamoto hii ya wadudu ambao wanadhuru mimea yetu. Kwa hivyo walifundisha wakaaji, na mimi kama mkaaji wa huku, na si kufundisha peke yake, waliweza kuachilia hao wadudu ambao wanaweza kukumbatiana na wale wadudu ambao wanaharibu mimea katika shamba zetu. Na kwa miezi sita ama miezi 7 hivi ambazo zimepita, tumeona effect ama tumeona benefits za hiyo program, kwa sababu watu ambao wako na ukulima wa kama sukuma ama cabbages, horticulture, tumeona ule uharibifu wa hiyo mimea umepungua kwa asilimia kubwa, kwa sababu hawa wadudu ingaja hatuwaoni, lakini tunaona hizo benefits za wadudu ambao walikuwa wameachiliwa na sasa wako katika anga ya haya maeneo.
Aferia also provided opportunity for us in terms of looking at various other adaptation strategies for this climate change impact, like drip irrigation systems were made available to growers. Rainwater harvesting system were developed and disseminated. And there are various aspects with regard to informing policy decisions and advocacy as far as climate change effect is concerned. We also trained quite a huge number of both graduate students as well as informal training to end users, the growers that are impacted, so that there is a huge awareness in each of these target areas with regard to the impact of climate change on various aspects of their life, which was not there before. Also, the fact that the capacity was built at higher level in terms of postgraduate training has meant that at every institutions there are people you can go to that will tell you about climate change, and this have become largely mainstream into extension system of the various target countries.
Toyesa Garredo, I'm just working for Jimma University, College of Agriculture and Veterinary Medicine. Actually, I'm one of the PhD students who benefited from the KESA project, which was started in 2011 and completed in 2015, which normally focus on the impact of climate change on coffee production in Ethiopia. My study actually focused on coffee berry disease and the coffee leaf rust related to climate change, because there are a lot of reports in our country, and one of the publications that has been released in 2012 says the wild Arabica coffee will disappear in 2018, 80, if there is no adaptation option takes place. If there is no adaptation management takes place, the wild coffee will disappear from Ethiopia. So the project developed, and we have done some research activity on that aspect. Finally, I just finished my PhD study, then the Aferia project continued. This Aferia project, the intention is actually to transfer the technology, the information that is generated by KESA project to the community. So we have done a lot of activity with the Aferia project. The first one is one of my study indicates that CBD is one of the major diseases that affecting coffee. So in order to solve that problem, we just try to raise CBD resistant coffee varieties in the study area. So we trained the farmers how to just raise a coffee seedling in the nursery. Then we show them in their study area. Then totally we produced around 45,000 coffee seedlings in the Satama Agayo area, and we distributed this coffee seedling to the farmers.
Leenjii nuti irraa arganne leenjii yeroo muraa deddeebine leenjineerra akkaataadhuma jireenya keenya ittiin fooyyessinu jijjiirama qilleensaa kan irratti hundaa'ame maal akka yoo hojjenne qotee bulaan kun jireenya isaa fooyya'uu danda'a waan jedhu irratti leenjii gahaa ta'e kan irshaa mirmirii Jimmaa irratti fudhataa turre. Leenjii irraa fudhanne irraa gaa jechuun buna akkuma isin amma dhaqxanii ilaaltanii oomisha dhaqnee haala itti dhaabamuuf akkamitti akka dhaabamuu qabuu fi akkamitti akka kunuunfamuu qabu sanarraa kaanee nuti buna samma ta'e tokko jalqabnee irraa dhaabu. Lammaffaa jireenya keessan gabbifadhaa jennaan immoo naannoo kuduraaf muduraa abugaadoon madda galii addaa qonnaa biratti qotee bulaa kana jireenya isaan fooyyessa waan jedhuun anama kakootti gama abukaadoo 21 dhaabeera. Kunis haalaan qabatee jira. Bunas jalqabneerra fuuldurattis immoo leenjii sana irratti fayyadamnee jijjiirama qilleensaa kana ofirraa ittisnee haala fooyya'aa ta'een jireenya keenya haalaan jechuudha itti hojjetaa jirra. Mukas dhaabnee naannoo kana qilleensa gaarii deebifachuudha. Amma giraaviiliyaa gara 100 dhaabeeraan amma guddataniiru. Chigginyoota irra jiru. Kana leenjiidhuma muuxannoo nuti irshaa mirmirii Jimmaa irraa arganneen.
The project normally produce it's not only in terms of cash, in terms of something that you can measure it, but what one of the farmers, what he said yesterday, especially from the training that we obtained from Aferia and the KESA project, enable them to even train other farmers. So the knowledge, the skills they obtained, they just maintain with them. So that's really one of the advantage that this project produce for the farmers. And even though it's very difficult to just in monetary value immediately the impact, but they have got a lot of activity.